Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I can't believe it, I actually made a pair of trousers. I've been dressmaking for 5 years and I have not plucked up the courage until now. So today I'm going to be talking through the Winslow Culottes by Helens Closet. So if that interests you, stay tuned. So hot off the success of the Ashton top by Helens Closet, which I'm wearing here, and I'll link my video above if you haven't seen it yet, I impulsively bought the Winslow Culottes. Now I did buy the Rebecca Page culottes, so I'm not actually sure why I bought the Winslows as well, but I think it is because the top fitted me so well. I thought the trousers are bound to as well. Let's backtrack a little bit to the beginning of my sewing journey 5 years ago. One of the first patterns I decided to make was the trousers out of the Tilly and the Buttons book. I knew absolutely nothing about dressmaking at this point, and when I cut out the front and the back, I laid them on top of each other and I thought, surely they should be the same shape so they'd sew up matching. I didn't realise that they needed to be different shapes to curve around the front and the back, which are different shapes on our bodies. So I trimmed one side of them to match the other side, made them up, and obviously they did not fit. That put me off a little bit and I didn't try it again. I didn't know what I'd done wrong at that stage. A little while later I did try to make some more, and I made a toile of, I think it was the Love Notions pattern actually, and this, I was still fairly new to dressmaking at this time. I made a toile and they looked absolutely huge, and I tried them on and they were too tight, and that just sent me in the pits of despair, and I just did not look at them again. That's really before I come to terms with my measurements, and that measurements don't come with opinions or prejudices. They come with numbers, and that's it. So it's very easy. I found, for me, it's been very easy to think I'm a size 24. Oh my God, the end of the world. But no, 24 just means I've got a waist of 46 or whatever it is. That's all it means. It's just a number. And I'm in a much better place with that now. But back then I wasn't, and so it put me off trouser making. And also over the time I've heard a lot of people say there's a lot of fitting around with trousers. So for one reason or another I've put it off and put it off for 5 years. And for the last year or so I've been determined to make some again. And I've been told by a number of people that culottes are the way to go, because you only have to fit them at the waist and the rest is a lot easier. And actually, having made some now, I would agree with that. So let me tell you a little bit about the pattern. The pattern, as I've mentioned, are a pair of culottes which are very flowy, very drapey, and they do use quite a lot of fabric. So they're fitted at the waist, and they got 2 pleats at the front and 2 pleats at the back with a centre back zip. And that is literally all the detail. You could have them as shorts, you could have knee length, just below knee length, or right down to your ankles. It's really up to you what length you would like them. I had the pattern sent off to the printers and they printed it in A0, which is my preferred way of dealing with patterns, especially PDF patterns at the moment. So that came back and I traced off so that I could preserve my copy that come back from the printers. I traced off on some paper that I have. The first tracing I did, I had quite a lot of trouble because the pattern is so big it wouldn't fit on my table, and it was a bit of a hassle having to like shift the paper every now and again. I'd pin my tracing paper to the actual printed paper, but moving it about, it wasn't an easy process. So if you're going to trace, do bear that in mind. So I traced that off and I had some black viscose fabric, and I've got this is my toile pair here, and this is the fabric. It creases like mad. I haven't hemmed them. It creases like mad, and it's fairly see-through. I think you can see me through there. And I wasn't sure initially whether it would be suitable for these because they're not completely opaque. I did seek advice and it was felt that it would be okay because it's pleats and it's flowy. It's gonna, like, the fabric's gonna double up on itself. So I did cut them out in this fabric, and I'm glad that this fabric worked because it was the only fabric I had that had loads of yardage. This first pair I did down to my ankles, and so I needed about 4 meters of fabric to do that. And luckily I thought I needed 4 meters, but I had 5 meters and I did use all the fabric up. So I had 5 meters of this fabric and I did use all the fabric up. And that's because these ones come down to my ankles, in fact a little bit further than my ankles, they need hemming. The pattern was really straightforward to put together. So first off, I matched the pleats up. There's one of the pleats there. And that was super simple, they're just inverted box pleats. I basted those pleats down and then I literally sewed the sides up. Sewed the insides up. With this 12 pair I made a size 28 because I went on my waist measurement, which is 46, and I chose a 26. This pattern comes in a 0 to 30. So I did that with no adjustments whatsoever and made it up. And then after I'd done the side seams and the crotch seam, I added the waistband. Now, the waistband is a really thin one. It's about 1.5 inches wide when finished. Initially, before I made the pattern, I was concerned that it wouldn't sit right on my waist because I have a curve on my back. I thought it would stick out a bit. But I was assured by Karina that a thin waistband would be fine for this. And I did search high and low for a curved waistband for this pattern and no one's done it at all. So I just decided to go with the straight one and see what happens. I French seamed there. And also, you do have to install a zip on this pattern. I installed it on the side by mistake because I didn't read the instructions, did I? You know what I'm like by now. And I didn't read them and I'd sewn the crotch up. So I just decided to put it on the side. You might prefer your zip on the side, and if you do, it is so simple. Sew the back up where the zip would have gone as normal, and then on the side where there's a side seam, it depends if you want invisible or a normal zip as to how you do it. But basically what you were going to do in the centre back, you just do on the side instead. So I made these up and tried them on, and the waist was too big, quite a bit too big. It was hanging very, very loose. I could probably pinch 2 or 3 inches. And the crotch was really low. It was almost down to my knees. Now I know with culottes, in order to get them to look like a skirt, which is essentially what they are, trousers that look like a skirt, you do need the crotch quite low. But I felt it was too low. And let's be completely honest here, people. I was worried about the chub rub, you know, between the legs. I know you worry about things like that too. So for my second pair, while I was making the 12 pair, I happened to go to Southampton and visit Fabricland, and I picked up some gorgeous floral fabric, which I thought would make lovely, lovely culottes. And that is this fabric here. This is a satin crepe. Don't know if you can see the, I don't know if you'll see the texture up close. No, I don't think you can see the texture. Once I'd made the black trousers, I decided I needed to go down a size to the 26 and raise the crotch by 1.5 inches. Now, both these adaptations were quite risky because when I measured the pattern pieces, the size 26 came in at 1 inch smaller than my actual waist measurement. And so I was a little bit concerned that they might be too tight, but actually, once I'd made them and tried them on, they fit perfectly. So do bear that in mind, that you may need to go down a size further than you thought you did. With culottes, you need quite a low crotch, but mine was far too low and I knew I had to bring it up a bit. So I brought it up the front and the back by 1.5 inches, and this was also risky because I had no idea what my crotch seam length was. No, I was just going with it, so it was a little bit risky. Fred would just like to come and say hello. Oi! You look at the camera. Look. Go on then. So the construction of the main pair of trousers went really well, and that might be in part because I actually referenced the instructions. As I mentioned in the Ashton top review, Helens Closet instructions are really fantastic. Even better than the Tilly and the Buttons ones, I would go as far to say. I haven't really got much more to say because they're just so helpful and they go over and above giving you advice on what they need to do. There are some things in dressmaking that is not the responsibility of the pattern designer to explain, and it's about you knowing your own body. But Helens Closet is really keen to help you develop an understanding of your own body, and that really does ring true in the instructions. So for the second pair, I actually put the zip in the centre back. The sewing of these pants was going wonderfully well until it came to the zip. Now I know some people fear zips, but I'm not one of those people. However, I probably should after this experience. Before I put the zip in, I had to put the waistband on, and that went on fine, no problems whatsoever. But when it came to putting the zip on, the actual, I haven't cut my threads off here, so do excuse me. But when I came to put the zip on, it was like this. It was like about 1 inch out. And so the two sides of the waistband did not meet where they should. And so I had to go back, I had to unpick some of the waistband and bodge it so that they did, which basically just meant cutting a bit of excess out of one waistband so they matched up. And as it was on my centre back and I would have a top overlapping them, it wasn't going to be a big issue. So I did that. And then I decided that I wasn't going to put in an invisible zip because once I'd made that adjustment, the zip I had wasn't long enough. And so I just decided to use a normal zip. This just meant that I needed to sew the side seam up, as I explained earlier, and insert the zip that way, which was super simple, but sewing it didn't seem to be. And it was the first time I'd done a normal zip, and I have completely botched it up. Look. But it is green, so it goes with the fabric. I also put bias binding on the inside edge of the waistband, like that. And I serged my seams. I folded the waistband over and then I stitched in the ditch from the right side so it would hold it down. And because it's mainly white, you can't actually see. When I sewed it down, the waistband was all warped like this, all over. It looked really, really bad. It's not perfect now, but it looked really bad. And that is because I didn't cut the waistband on the grain. I was trying to save fabric and I had a long strip where I'd already cut out. So I cut out opposite to the grain, and as a result it was warped. So I had to unstitch it and restitch it. And it's still not fantastic. You can probably see a little bit of the warp in there. I've ironed it down. It's on my waistband. No one's going to notice. If it's really uncomfortable, I will take it off and recut it on the grain, but no one's going to notice. So I just sewed it down, and then I serged the hems and turned them under. And that's the result. So they're done, and I have a pair of trousers. I'll insert some footage here of me wearing them. I tried them on, they fit fantastically at the waist. I like the length. The crotch is a little bit tight. It's more tight around the bum than at the front. So I think perhaps, although I did the right thing taking it up at the front, at the back I didn't, and I'll probably put that extra space back in, that ease back into it if I make them again. But to be honest, I'm just so pleased that I've made a pair of trousers. So if you're looking to make your first pair of trousers, then I would highly recommend this pattern. It's super simple to make, great instructions, the fitting is really good. I had minimal changes. I probably could have got away with just making a size 26 without raising the crotch at all, to be honest. And yeah, they're nice and quick and easy to make. Would I make them again? Probably not, if I'm completely honest. And that's just because I don't feel that confident in them, in that it's not my style. My style is to wear more fitted trousers. I've always worn leggings, to be honest. And I do want to branch out into actual trousers. But I think I need to go with some form-fitting trousers rather than big flowy ones. But I made a pair of trousers, and for that I am really, really happy. A big pair of trousers, but I made a pair of trousers all the same. I got a leg, I've got a leg. So question of the day, have you made trousers? If you haven't, what puts you off making them? Do leave a comment below and let me know. I've got a moany cat here now. If you have made trousers, how did you find the experience? Was it straightforward, or was it harder than you imagined it to be? Leave your tips down below and let us help each other in the comments. So if you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And while I'm at it, I just want to say a quick hello to all my new subscribers. I seem to have picked up quite a few recently, so I'm really pleased to have you on board. Do let me know down below if there's anything you would like me to cover in my videos. I'm always open to taking requests. So if you like this video and you haven't yet subscribed, do hit that red button below now and hit the notification bell, and then you'll be informed when my next video goes live. If you like this video, do hit the like button below. Please consider supporting my channel by donating to my Ko-fi account. Link is in the description box below. Until next time, happy sewing. Bye for now.
You can fly higher than the